How Rocky Mountain settlers survived frozen winters in 1800s cabins. High in the Rocky Mountains, small wooden cabins rested quietly beneath long winters. Snow gathered softly on their roofs. Inside, settlers moved with patience and care. Thick logs held the cold at a distance. Cracks were filled with clay and moss. A single window let in pale daylight. At night, the world felt hushed and still. The cabin became a gentle shelter. It breathed warmth. It held steady against the slow passing hours of cold and dark. A small fire burned low and steady. It was never rushed. Wood was added carefully. Heat spread slowly through the room. Heavy blankets were folded with care. Simple meals warmed the body and eased the mind. The sound of wind outside felt far away. Inside there was calm routine. Hands worked quietly. Minds stayed untroubled. The settlers listened to the soft rhythm of winter. They accepted the season as it came. When night arrived, silence deepened. Snow fell without sound. The cabin glowed faintly in the darkness. Breathing slowed. Thoughts became light and unimportant. The mountains rested. The sky watched gently from above. Inside the cabin, warmth lingered. Peace settled into every corner. Time felt slow and kind. Everything remained still. The moment stretched softly, then faded, like a quiet breath drifting into calm silence. Winter days passed slowly in those mountain cabins. Morning light arrived pale and quiet. Frost traced gentle patterns on the window glass. Inside, the air remained calm and still. Settlers rose without hurry. Boots waited by the door. Wool coats rested nearby. Movements were careful and soft. Every sound felt muted. The cabin held warmth like a steady heartbeat. Outside, the world stayed white and silent. Food was prepared with patience. Simple grains simmered gently. Dried meat warmed above the fire. Nothing was wasted. Every small comfort mattered. The fire spoke in low whispers. Smoke drifted upward and disappeared. Tools rested neatly along the walls. Wood creaked slowly as the cabin settled. Long hours were filled with quiet tasks. Sewing, mending, carving small pieces of wood. These moments felt unimportant yet soothing. Time flowed without pressure. As darkness returned, lamps glowed softly. Shadows moved slowly across the logs. Wind brushed against the walls and passed on. Inside there was no fear, only stillness. The cabin felt like a calm island in a frozen sea. Breath grew deeper. Thoughts drifted gently. Outside, snow continued its endless fall. Inside, warmth and peace remained. The night held everything in quiet balance. The moment softened, then slowly dissolved into calm silence. Deep winter settled fully around the cabins. Days felt shorter yet never rushed. Light moved slowly across the snow. Inside, the fire was kept low and patient. Logs were turned with care. Warmth stayed close to the floor. The air smelled of wood and quiet time. Walls held memories of many calm evenings. Each sound was familiar and soft. The cabin felt steady and protective, like a gentle pause in the vast cold. Snowshoes rested by the door. Coats dried near the hearth. When someone stepped outside, the cold was accepted calmly. Breath rose in pale clouds and drifted away. Inside again, hands warmed slowly. Silence returned without effort. The mountains remained still. No need for words, only the soft crackle of fire and the distant hush of wind. Hours passed unnoticed. Comfort lived in small routines repeated with care. Late at night, the world seemed to slow even more. Stars watched quietly from above the peaks. Inside the cabin, lamplight dimmed. Blankets were pulled close. The fire settled into glowing embers. Breathing became deep and even. Thoughts loosened and wandered away. The cold stayed outside. Warmth stayed within. Everything rested together in gentle balance. Time softened. The moment stretched peacefully, then faded, slowly and quietly, into calm silence. Winter continued its quiet watch over the mountain cabins. Days blended gently into one another. Snow rested thick and unmoving. Inside, the cabin remained calm and dependable. Logs along the walls held warmth patiently. The ceiling seemed low and comforting. Light entered softly and never lingered long. The world beyond the door felt distant and muted. Inside, time moved slowly without demand or concern. Water warmed near the fire. Steam rose and vanished. Hands wrapped around simple cups. Warmth spread little by little. Clothing dried without haste. Each task was unspoken and familiar. Silence was not empty, felt full and kind. The fire whispered softly, then rested. Wind brushed past the cabin and moved on. Nothing disturbed the steady rhythm of the evening. Everything remained gentle and balanced. As night deepened, the cabin grew quieter still. The glow of embers painted soft shadows. Outside, the mountains stood patient under the stars. Inside, bodies relaxed into rest. Breaths became slow and even. Thoughts loosened and drifted away like light snow. The cold stayed beyond the walls. Warmth remained close and constant. The moment felt complete and unhurried. Time slowed to a gentle pause, then gradually faded, softly and peacefully, into calm silence. The final winter hours moved quietly around the mountain cabin. Snow lay deep and undisturbed. The sky above felt wide and calm. Inside, the logs held their warmth without effort. Shadows rested along the walls. The air felt soft and steady. Nothing asked for attention. Nothing needed to change. The cabin simply existed, gentle and still, wrapped in the long breath of the mountains. The fire had lowered to a quiet glow. Embers pulsed slowly, like a calm heart. Blankets lay heavy and warm. The floor creaked once, then settled. Outside, the wind passed by without sound. Inside, thoughts became lighter and slower. Each breath felt easy. Time no longer mattered. The cold remained far away. Warmth stayed close and patient. Everything felt safe and untroubled. As the night deepened, silence grew tender. Stars watched without movement. The cabin rested fully. Breathing softened into a peaceful rhythm. Thoughts drifted and dissolved. The mountains stood quietly through the dark. Nothing stirred. Nothing needed words. The moment held steady, then gently loosened its shape. Calm spread everywhere, smooth and endless, until even the quiet faded, and the night whispered, "Good night."